not much has changed on my loadout since the last time I've done it. You guys can go back and pause and recheck out what I have on here and the mods, right? So it's pretty easy. Just hit pause, okay? Here are the arts. Still run the boo belt. I'm sorry. I'm a sucker, right? I don't have max CR right now, but my might's at 92. Loadout is still the same, right? There's a few things I didn't point out last time that I didn't talk about, and I said I was going to make a video, I never did. We're going to talk about it now. Sometimes things are circumstantial. So like right here, I have Robot Sidekick. If you're having a hard time with survivability or Robot Sidekick's draining too much of your power, put in Quantum Tunneling. Literally gets you out of trouble. You can just teleport. It's not using power. One thing that's really cool about Robot Sidekick is just passive damage, okay? That's one of the main reasons we have Robot Sidekick in there. Just passive damage, extra damage. You don't have to do anything, doesn't cost any effort. Just do what you normally do. Run through the rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. I use Temporal Vortex. Though I really do like Oblivion. Oblivion smacks, okay? Hits hard. Only thing about Oblivion that I don't like is that it's like one and done. Once you pop it, I mean, EOG spam, maybe scrap a Soul Cloak, depending on what kind of DPS you actually have in the group. Maybe you'll get it back by the time you make it to the first boss. If you run anything like COUE, probably not. If you have some sweaty DPSs in there, definitely not. It's a one and done, you know? Where I feel like Temporal Vortex gives you more of the option and opportunity to actually, you know, hey, I got a good set of ads, they're lined up perfectly, boom, I can pop my supercharge. Where a lot of times, where Oblivion, yeah, I got one good set of ads and we're done. So just to elaborate a little bit further, if you read the brief description below, again, we're gonna move through this. You can hit pause. The video's already too long. I'm sorry, guys, but just hang in there with me. So it has a 30-second cooldown. It's a 5,000 supercharge cost. Our full bar of a supercharge cost is 10,000, right? So with Temporal Vortex, you have 2. So if you hit 1 on the first set of ads, 30-second cooldown, you have an opportunity to use it again. Oblivion is a 30-second cooldown as well, but it's a 10,000 supercharge cost, which means it's going to hit. It's incredible, but once you hit it, it's going to be a while before you actually are able to build that supercharge up again and use it again. Hence why I choose Temporal Vortex over Oblivion. I like Dead King Scepter because when I first started playing the game, when I used Eye Gemini, people would scatter. Like, you pop Eye Gemini, which is a really nice artifact, especially if you're getting EOG spam, right? Right here, Eye Gemini. We know how this works, right? You pop it, and whatever damage you do, a percentage of that damage that you do inside of here is going to proc right there. So they hit for 22k. So if you had a group of ads sitting in front of you, they would all be hit for 22k. It's really nice, honestly. But I had a lot of people would run from it. They would run out of my Eye Gemini. So I had to come up with something like, the point is to beat the mission we're in. And if you're not comping, stand in the Eye Gemini, okay? So that's just my opinion. So my next best idea was Dead King Scepter. Dead King Scepter does a random proc every so many seconds. Oh, right there, the orbital assistance, 24k. So one ad got hit for 24k. All right, so for simplicity's sake, I like to keep it simple. So I chose the Dead King Scepter because, one, I can pop the Dead King Scepter and let it do its job. It hits harder, right? It increases the damage by 20%. After you pop the Dead King Scepter 23k, you get this orbital assistance for like the next 30 seconds, and it keeps proccing and keeps proccing. And it comes back faster. So it hits harder, your orbital comes back faster, and you get the orbital assistance for the next 30 seconds constantly. It increases. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? if people are going to run out of my eye Gemini, at the time, Dead King Scepter seemed to be one of the best ways to go. So, you know, we went with it. And, you know, I still think it's pretty well. Now, I know people use it for attack swap. No point of keeping it in the whole time. And I can agree with that. I can honestly agree with that. But just for me, my playstyle, for something easy, simple across the board, I think this is a really good way to go. That's just me. Now, if you have anything better, yo, throw it out there. I'd love to hear it. One of the things about my loadout, I think I didn't really explain the last time, right here. Singularity. It doesn't hit really hard at all. I'm sorry. I wish it hit a little bit harder. But it sets up your PI. Instead of using Grim, which Grim will set up your PI, but Grim doesn't come out until your second hit, okay? So I would have to do one and then this before Grim would actually come out. I'd have to hit my second move. But I actually need the PI before I actually hit my second move the way I have it set up on my loadout. So getting to a set of ads first, I'll throw Singularity. If your tank's moving, if you have a good tank who's moving, who's gonna snatch those ads up, you run with the tank, you throw that Singularity, it hits the ads before the tank. If the tank hits the pool at the right time, boom, the ads aren't even gonna hit you. So you already have your PI set up before anybody even hits the ads. Then you hit left, the PI that's in effect will actually help you, right? So left, a lot of, right there, ooh, I love this. Hey, left is a nice power, right? So left right here is what I hit. You see it's just targeting one ad, right? But when you put this on, Singularity first, right, it sets up a PI. Now they're all affected, and you hit left, it actually sucks them in and does some more AOE damage. So I like my PI out there as soon as possible to get as many dots as possible to try to proc that strat card sooner the better. That's how you're gonna get it, right? So a lot of times I try to run first, Singularity, left. Now I have double the dots ticking. I do time shift, Distortion Wave. Now a lot of times I try to get there first, so I'm already positioned. Now you have to know something else about time shift. Time shift is an iffy power, but time shift has a cone effect to it. You see that? Has a cone effect. It doesn't hit all of them. So we'll change positions here. You see where we're target at? I'm still missing the two on the far right. It's just something to be mindful of. So when you get to the ads, be mindful of your positioning, the tank's positioning, and what move, how much health is left, blase, blase. Now, Distortion Wave is a whole different animal right there. You see how it explodes and then expands? Distortion Wave, you're good to go there. Singularity, it is an area move. You see how they have the PI set up on them? They do not. But it still pulls them all in when I hit left. And it puts a dot. You see it costs the strat card to progress, you guys. You see this? You see the white numbers? They're not as big as electric and other powers, but the strat card, even though in my opinion is not the best art to help with quantum, it's still beneficial. Even the little bit of the dots that you do get from it. I just want to throw that out there. Strat card is definitely big on dot powers. So if ads have a lot of health, dots, you're gonna be smacking. All right, so Singularity sets up the PI, left, now you got double dots. Watch out that cone. You see how I missed? I don't know if you guys caught that. It didn't hit every ad. Distortion Wave will clean that up though. It will definitely. That's my loadout, guys. That's what I do. Even with this loadout, I feel like I have a lot of flexibility because of how the powers are. So I don't feel like if I threw Singularity, I can kind of jump around. And I feel like I have that freedom to move because of how the powers are, right? So if you drop the supply drop, I can just hop my wonderful quantum behind over there. I mean, don't make me put in quantum tunneling. I will teleport to a supply drop. I ain't above it. I've done it. I really have. I really have. Yo, so I don't feel like stuck in place with this loadout. I don't feel like I have to be this close. Like if this was content, I don't feel like I have to be that close. So me personally, I like testing certain loadouts based upon the blocks, right? So let's say you're running something, and it's just kind of a mental thing, right? So I'll look, here's the first two, right? So 1, 2, 3. So right here, a good mid-range, you're not up on them. They're not gonna one-shot you if this was elite. right? And if you had a tank, and I'm still hitting. So I know I can be relatively a certain distance away and still make contact with what I'm trying to hit. I can still make contact and know that I'm making decent contact. All right, I'm making decent. Yeah, you can be a lot closer if you want, if that's your play style. But if you like being that close, I'm telling you, this is not the loadout. There's melee loadouts that is 10 times better to go with. I would find a melee, honestly. Like, I mean, you could run this up close, but this loadout isn't designed to be up close. It's designed for you to have that flexibility so you don't have to be up there. I'm almost 4 whole blocks away, right? That way you don't have to stand in there. So that's just me. So for an update, this is all I have when it comes to AOE, guys. That's basically it. I would say if you do have the Eye Gemini, I'm not against using it. I say if you have a cool group set of people, right, and you're rocking supercharges and they're there, yo, drop Dead King Scepter, use the Eye Gemini. It's not gonna hurt. It's really not, okay? It's gonna do well. I don't like the Grim, and the only reason I don't like the Grim is it's cool, but the second hit PI, I run with a lot of sweaty people, like really sweaty. And like, we're always trying to be like, all right, let's get to these ads, let's eat it, let's destroy them. I don't have time to wait for that PI setup for Grim to come out, show up, set up the PI, so I can do more damage with graviton charge powers. It's kind of like, nah, it's too slow. So in my opinion, I feel like take Grim out of that equation and run. I did do a video using this loadout. I had a little fun comp in, what was it, FGSR, with my homie Gucci, right? Awesome guy. He primarily is a healer. He was on this munitions tune, and we had a fire DPS in there. Tons of fun, right? So we just ran it. But that's another video that you guys are gonna have to watch after this.